So one of the things that David talked about is all kind of the theme today is what will the computers learn? And so I thought I would start out by showing you what computers as of today can learn. And in fact, computers have learnt to do things which previously were just sci-fi. So for example, computers have learnt how to recommend replies for you, and if you use Inbox by Google, you will see this feature where the email will actually suggest possible replies to your email after reading it automatically. Skype Translator now exists. It will translate your English voice into 6 other languages in real time. This previously was, the Babel fish in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It was just science fiction. Even art. We now have this piece of art which has been automatically generated from the subject on the left and the theme on the right. And as you can see, it's come out looking pretty good. How is it possible that computers are doing things that were previously just the domain of science fiction? And indeed, this has all happened in the last 6 months, really. And the answer is because of an algorithm called deep learning. Deep learning is not just some synonym for AI or machine learning or something. It's a very specific algorithm. It specifically refers to a neural network with multiple layers. It's something that people have been studying for over 50 years, but just in the last few, people suddenly realized how to make it really work, and once that happened, things really took off. So if you want to learn more about deep learning, go to TED.com and look up my talk, and you can hear 18 minutes about it. As I said, today I'm just going to focus on what it can do. So machine learning more generally has been around since 1954. This is the guy that invented it, Arthur Samuel. He was the guy that realized if he wanted to get this mainframe to be able to play checkers better than him, he couldn't program it. Instead, he'd have to set it up with something where it could learn itself. And so in 1954, he got this computer to play against itself thousands and thousands of times. By 1962, this computer could beat the Connecticut state champion at checkers. So the idea of computers learning is certainly not at all new. But the idea of deep learning is something that's very exciting, which is that we now don't have to tell the computers what features to use to learn from. It does it automatically. In fact, these features you see here, going from left to right, are examples of a hierarchy of features that have been used to recognize faces. You can see it's come up with edges and eyes and then different types of face. All of these were automatically generated by a deep learning algorithm. There were no hints given whatsoever. In fact, it turns out that this hierarchy of image features are very similar to the way that the human brain processes vision, but this was not programmed. It was learnt automatically by deep learning. So how good is it at learning this stuff? Well, the answer is amazingly good. As of the last few months, computers are now better than humans at recognizing the content of images. Computers are now better than humans at understanding spoken language, both in Chinese and in English. So you can see here that the person on the right has drawn something, and the computer has automatically turned it into a painting. So computers are now generating novel pieces of art based on hints that we give them. And you can see this actually happening here. This is an example of Van Gogh painting me, in fact. So what could you do with this kind of stuff? Well, pretty much anything. 2 years ago, I thought, with no previous background in medicine at all, what would happen if I applied this to medicine? And within 5 months, I had the state-of-the-art result, beating a panel of 4 of the world's best radiologists at predicting lung cancer, looking at CT scans. By far the best ever approach to this, developed by a bunch of people that had no previous medical background. This is not something which is unique to me by any means. Another machine learning competition actually recently showed an ability to diagnose a heart condition better than anybody had previously done it and better than any human. And this was done by a bunch of hedge fund analysts using deep learning. Deep learning has been used for an extraordinary range of things. It's been used to identify potential infections. It's being used to do automatic drug discovery. This is a group at Google. It was used to improve the accuracy of finding the Higgs boson. It's been used to model newswire events. It's even been used to automatically predict the outcome of computer programs. It's quite extraordinary. It's been used to play computer games, most of the time better than the best computer game player in the world. And that system is the one that went on to beat the world Go champion. It's even being used creatively. There's a system which will automatically create a drum track for you called Neurobeats, or indeed, this is a piece of choreography that has been automatically generated by looking at previous examples of choreography. This one, actually, I could just sit here and watch this all day. But, the interesting thing about this is that this is actually all going to happen a lot more quickly in the future because just today, Google announced that the underlying hardware that powers all this stuff, they've just announced they made it 10 times faster using something called tensor processing units. So it's quite extraordinary what's already possible, and it's about to go a lot further. So hopefully you'll hear more about some of the things being done today. And in the meantime, I'm just going to put it back on the...